Last question for the evening, and we will start with Mr. Daniels. Earlier tonight, we've talked about and discussed funding for higher education. However, in the event that as State Senator you are unsuccessful in being able to increase the funding for higher education, what would you think that UAH's administration can do to increase revenues and avoid being forced to cut back on the vital programs that make UAH the great university that it is?
Well, UAH's administration could look to possibly they're going to have to cut back on a lot of different programs here in the institution, not programs like education programs and things like that. I would look for probably increasing the price for their sporting events, probably $1 or $2. I would also look toward working with local government to try to provide some type of additional revenue. But from an administrative standpoint, I think that you're going to have to probably increase price for probably sporting events will be the best right with the administration, and cut back on programs and probably do some consolidation of workloads for the professors.
Mr. Wright.
Well, last time I looked at the Senate stimulus package, they have eliminated the education and school sweetener there. That thing could have changed, I don't know. So I don't think we're going to get any help there. They're probably going to have to look at buyouts and early retirement. They'll probably have to defer new buildings and capital expenditures. One thing that because UAH, A&M, and the other institutions here play a vital role in attracting business, we're going to have to perhaps look at corporate sponsorship somehow. We're going to have to look at the big companies, see if we can get some sort of sponsorship for programs there. Maybe some faculty seats. It'd be the Lockheed Martin faculty seat, the Boeing seat, Northrop Grumman, something of that nature. This is what a lot of other institutions do, and also work through their alumni association. They build up a lot through that. I'm an alumnus of Georgia Tech, and we have an extremely strong alumni association, and we use that to better our institution. Thank you.
Mr. Richardson.
One of the things I think that you have to put things into proper perspective. UAH administration, I've been at a couple of colleges through my years, is one of the top ones in the state and in the region. The way that they have paid close attention to what was going on in Montgomery and begun a process of cutting back over time, I think is a model for institutions around the state. Because one of the things that has troubled me is that many institutions at the beginning of this year operated as if proration wasn't coming, and then once it came, did not take the effective steps that needed to be taken, and now are going through tough times with layoffs, some talking about furloughs and other things. And so I think really UAH is a model that we should be following. Their administration has done a great job in good times and have done a great job during this time of proration. And I think that's something that every student here should be proud of, what the administration has been able to accomplish. And the type of management, being aware of what's going on and managing the resources efficiently. And I think that's something they should be complimented for.
Mr. Sanford.
I think in order to increase the revenues here from a university level, I'd have to look at more of where their revenue stream comes from and where they produce it. It would be irresponsible of me to try to offer up a one-size-fits-all solution for every university in the state. I think obviously I can speak. I have a brother-in-law that's a professor at a university. His workload is, gosh, I would die for. I would absolutely die for. I don't know if his workload is typical of the average professor in a university, but he teaches like 2 classes. He does a lot of it over the internet. He spends about 4 hours a week actually working in the classroom, combined in about another 4 hours away from the classroom. I mean, it's a pretty sweetheart deal. I don't know if that's an average professor's workload. It doesn't seem like it is. If it is, maybe I need to go back to school and become one. I think we have to, like Peter said, we have to look for community involvement. We have to find companies and industries that are willing to support UAH in the careers that are vital to them. They have to help prop up the university so we can provide the workforce that's necessary for them. I think we also have to look at administrative level. What can we do to become more effective? I think you have to look at the classroom size. How many students are in the classroom? Are we effectively meeting the workload in the classroom level? Can we consolidate classes and look at cutting expenses that way? I think there's a litany of ways to do it. I would have to refer to the leaders of the university to offer up some more solutions than that.
Mrs. Hunt?
Well, UAH is so uniquely suited to partner with our corporate community. I mean, there's just so many ways that you can capitalize on all of the business, the engineering business that we're doing here. And we're just saying you're just in such a great position to do that. And if you continue to recruit the best and the brightest for your school, you'll come up with the solutions that you need. Nobody has been able to adequately explain to me the foundation program, wherein we send our tax dollars down to Montgomery, and through some funny math, we get some tax dollars back. Now, if we raise money on our own here through various revenue streams and put that into our education system, we get penalized from Montgomery for that. And nobody has been to adequately explain to me why that process is the way it is. I'd like to have that process explained. It needs to be transparent, it needs to be understandable. Well, if we're sending tax dollars down to Montgomery, we need to make sure we're getting them back adequately. But I really think that the unique aspects of UAH in that you have a opportunity to partner with local corporations, the Raytheons, the Boeings, the Lockheed Martins, the Northrop Grumman's. You know, that's such an opportunity that so many schools don't have. And if your faculty is, well, I know your faculty is capitalizing on it. I know they are, because I was talking about all the various ways they're doing it with AMRDEC. So continuing that would be a huge boon to UAH.
Mr. Richardson, I think you motioned you wanted to say something. Okay. Mr. Daniels also.
I want to say that do we not realize that, you know, an administration, while it will be great to work with community and the corporations, but they're feeling this economic crisis as well. So I don't see that will be a viable option because I've tried to get donations for community service events, and I couldn't even get a check for $80. So I'm not certain that that companies have the revenue to do sponsorships and assist in different programs and institutions.
Mr. Wright?
Well, I'm going to go talk to my boss, Dr. Davidson, about that. We spent $5 million over at the Space and Rocket Center. I'll see what we can do about that. You want 800? I'll see what we can do. That'll work.